Okay, let's go. All right, episode 2, day 2. Still very unclear of the format of this show or this talk, whatever. I still need to find a good name for it. I was kind of brainstorming last night. I like the idea of Thrive Tribe. As goofy as it sounds, anything that kind of rhymes is bound to stick in your head. I kind of like the sound of it. The more I say it in my head, the more I do like it. Thrive Tribe. The exact direction that I want to take this, I do kind of want to aim towards building like online community, for lack of better words. Just have a place for people to kind of discuss, be kind of not enlightened, but motivated, if that's a good word. And I know there's already a lot of communities out there, especially around fitness. Like a lot of big influencers will have like discords, talking about lifting, and some of them do offer other topics of discussions. Like they'll talk, mental health a bit and stuff like that. But I want what I'm creating to not be centered around fitness as much as that is a big part of my life, or mental health, or whatever, everything. I just kind of want it to be a place to thrive, hence the name. So I think for now we'll stick with that. Thrive Tribe sounds good. So yeah, this is day 2. I'm recording today because I really had, honestly, just the, not the feedback, but the way it went yesterday. It just felt good in the soul, just to put that out there. I do talk to people about some of the stuff that I put on the show here and there, people close to me, but like I said, I want to avoid personal details and stuff like that just because I'm a bit of a shy guy. I'm not one to just put all that out there, but like I said, I think for the greater good, it'll help. It'll do more help than harm. Putting some of that stuff out there, putting kind of like a bit of my pride and ego aside, and being a little open. And for some reason, it's actually easier. I'm getting a little used to it, talking to no one, but talking to camera, it just feels easier. It feels like not a confession, but feels like it's just me in my room, right? But where I was getting at about yesterday, I don't think I'll get myself to record every day. I don't think that's realistic, even with time that I do have on my days off. I don't think that's gonna happen. But the reason, what I was getting at, is I posted a video yesterday. I wasn't expecting to get crazy views, anything like that. Obviously, it's been less than 15 hours since I posted the last one at the time of this recording. So this is May 2nd. And I'm not gonna lie, the main reason I'm recording another one right now is because I had a comment from, and if you're watching this, shout out Bailey McIntosh. Might be a lady, Bailey McIntosh 74, and she said, she quoted something that I said, if you want to change, you gotta change. And I was talking about getting out of your comfort zone and that. And she said, if you want to change, you gotta change, in brackets. So obvious, but that's really what I needed to hear right now. And not that it's that deep, but sometimes you just have to hear someone else say it like, if you change, you gotta change. It sounds like something an 8-year-old could come up with, but at the end of the day, sometimes all you need is to hear someone else say it, to hear someone say what you need to hear in that moment. And that might be the catalyst, the moment, like a whole click, a whole shift of perspective. And that's the main thing I want to provide with these talks, these shows, these episodes, these whatever. It's still TBD. But yeah, we'll talk about a little bit of different stuff today. So obviously day 2 of no marijuana. Nothing crazy. I don't want to spend the whole episode talking about it today. My dreams were pretty wild last night. Like if you're watching this and you're not familiar with, I hate to call it withdrawal, just because I don't want to take a piss on anyone going through any harder withdrawals, as in alcohol or harder drugs. I don't want to undermine that at all. I know that even calling it addiction is kind of, I kind of feel bad just because of those people. But that aside, the weed withdrawal, if you will, the main thing I notice is it affects sleep. So your dreams, I can even count them. I think I got like 3, 4, 5 like actual nightmares last night. Like I'm not one to be like actually afraid of stuff, but it's hard to control in your dreams. Like it's one of those environments where you very much aren't in control at all. So definitely something to, I guess, look forward to in the next 3, 4, 5 days. But given my history, like I said, I did do a month off in November. It does get a lot better after 2 weeks, and just in general, you start feeling a lot better. So day 2 going strong. I'm not gonna lie, the temptation definitely was there. That's one thing I want to be with this, is be 100% honest and transparent. Both my other roommates, I live with 2 other people, they left this morning, and when I got back, I happened to go to the gym very early this morning, which is quite rare. Usually I go in the afternoon or lunchtime. And my first thought after getting my food down was no one would know if I smoke. By the time the earliest roommate gets back, it would be 2 p.m. it was around 10 by the time I got home, my thought, and it was clear as day. Like, no one would know. I could shower and like I wouldn't be still high by that time. Like I genuinely had like a 2-3 minute like debate in my head. Like, am I doing this? Is it worth it? But then I thought back to this, and another reason why I'm doing this to put it out there for accountability. I can't. Or another reason I'm putting this out there for accountability, right? It's one thing to think about it and, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this per day. I'm gonna do, I want to start this. I want to start working out. But as soon as you tell someone, then it's real. Then if you're slacking or you're missing something, that friend, that person, whoever you told is gonna be like, hey, didn't you say you were gonna start running at least once a week? Yeah, but and then just having that little interaction will make you second guess or doubt your laziness and really almost kick in a gear and be like, hey, you know what? Now I look lazy to that guy. Am I really, you know what I mean? Don't underestimate the power of, I'm lost for words right now, social dynamic, I want to say. As much as you shouldn't care too much what other people think about you, that's a whole topic for another day. Yeah. So what others care about you is a whole topic for another day. But what I'm trying to say is you can use it as a tool, right? For accountability. I cannot nail that word today. For accountability. So if you tell people, you're not necessarily tell them your full intentions. I do believe it's important to keep some of your cards in your hand, right? You shouldn't tell them like your full plan, especially people that you don't 100% trust or that aren't in your, you know what I mean, your circle. But for stuff that you want to get done, I think it's a very powerful tool. Something I've used a little bit recently, and the record shows that it definitely works, right? All right, moving on. I got a couple notes here, stuff that I wanted to talk about. Like I said, be a little different today. Talk about daily routines and rituals, because I honestly think that if you want to get somewhere, not only do you need a strong plan, but I do believe that the routines make the man. The ritual makes the person, right? You are what you do every day. And if there is any book that I could recommend for that, a great read. I've actually read it over twice. Like I said, when I say read, I don't physically read. I'm just lazy like that. And buying every book that I read would run me up a big bill. So Audible, it's on your phone. I have my phone with me at all times. I'm able to do it hands-free while I work in the morning, while I'm walking. If I'm doing cardio, if I'm doing abs, sometimes I'll put the audiobook in. It's a very, very powerful tool for learning. I try to get about 8 minutes to an hour a day of learning. But what I was trying to get at is one of the books that really opened my mind on not only routines but habits is, let me just find it here, The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. It's a 10-hour read, but definitely worth the 10 hours. It's one of those books as well that has a lot of examples, and they're not like goofy examples where you finish it and you're like, okay, but how does that apply to me? They very much relate to someone. And what I mean by that is there's at least one to three examples in that book that you will read and feel a personal connection to, as in, oh, okay, this can apply to me, right? Very great read. I recommend anyone reading it. I myself, it's on my reread list as well. Like I said, I've already read over it twice. Once last year, once 2 months ago. But it's one that I want to read after the couple books that I'm reading right now. But what I was getting at is I do believe that routines are powerful, and you should test stuff as well. If you're doing a routine, let's say you're working out, I gotta get my workouts done. I start at 8 a.m. I'm gonna start working out at 6. But you start doing it for a week, and it doesn't work out for you. No pun intended. You gotta skip half your workout. You're sweaty. You stink at work. You got no time for your food. And then you get home, and then you sit on the couch and watch TV for the whole evening. You crash. You end up you don't even eat. It just ruins your whole routine. Maybe it would be worth to try. Just try 1 day or 2 a week to get a bit of stuff done in the morning, go to work, and then try going to the gym right after work. If something ain't broke, don't fix it. But if something is, you should try to tweak it a bit, right? And that's from personal experience, right? I work with a lot of schedules or a lot of clients. I work with I work with 15 clients right now, and as much as I do give them liberty to work out at the time of day that they want, I do give them my opinion and feedback, and I can tell for some people it works wonders. They're able to hit an hour and a half of gym in the morning. It works for them, and they get the rest of the day to do whatever they want after work. But for some people, it's just a fact. They are not morning people, and I cannot get them, whatever I try, I cannot get them to wake up at 6 to hit a lift, get everything done before work at 8. For some people, it just doesn't work. So let's try something else. If you tried, and I'm not telling you to give up, but if you can tell for you something really is not working out, sometimes it's worth saving some energy in the long run and just trying something else, as opposed to wasting. It's stressing you out, it's affecting your relationships, you're in a bad mood at work all day, you're giving shit to your significant other, your friends, whatever, because you're just, oh, I can't in the morning, and oh, I gotta wake up early just for this. Try something else. And if that doesn't work, then, try again in the morning, but try a different split. Talk to your trainer, or try a different workout. Try maybe doing just a bit of cardio splitting up your workout, bit of cardio in the morning, whatever at night. And this doesn't apply just to gym. It's just something that I've coached through and lived through personally, right? I know for me what works best. I'm kind of a chameleon with the gym, as in, like this morning I got picked up at 6:45. We were there by 7, but I don't mind going late at night if I have time. My average time I go on days off, I'm going at like 9, 10, 11 a.m. I'm able to get a nice big breakfast before, then get the rest of my day. But on days that I work at my day job, I go as soon as I'm done work, so 3, 4, or 30 p.m. Like I said, whatever works for you. That's another thing, back to what we were saying yesterday. Comparing your schedules to others, you can definitely use it as a blueprint. And if it works, if you can apply it to you, then, all praise to that. But remember, everyone's life is different, right? So if you see your friend's able to work out at 6 a.m., maybe he has a different workout. Maybe he has a different job that doesn't, he doesn't need as much energy in the morning or whatnot. But what I wanted to talk about, about my little routine. So I don't want to go super in depth, but some stuff that I do every day. Workout is one. So one thing that I always do every day is do something for my health. I think that's very important. So whether that's go to the gym, I'm at the gym 5 to 6 days out of 7. It's something that I love. I have no problem being there for 2.5, 3 hours. Sometimes I'm there too long. I know, but it's what I love to do. It's my vice, if you will. It's my release of stress, my release of energy. It's what I look forward to the most in the day. What I used to do before as well is the 1,000 rep ab challenge, which now is like 1,300. And what that means, so what I do, if you don't have to start with 1,000, but what I do is I pick 4 exercises, and then I split that up into what used to be 1,000. So let's say I do Russian twist first, and then I'll knock out 300 of those. Then I'll do leg scissors, so with the legs up, some of those, I'll do those for 200. Then I'll do the up and down or mountain climbers. I do switch some of them up for another 200. And then my fourth one is always crunches. I always end with crunches, so I'll do 100 normal ones. And then I'll do 100, so 50 to one side, 50 to the other, as in side crunches. So instead of laying flat, you're kind of on the side. So I'll do 50, 50, 50, 50, so 100 each side. And then I'll end with 250 normal, or I'll do 100 normal ones into 150 of the side, like you're laying down, but your elbow touches your knee. Every day, no break. The whole routine, I can definitely speed through it. So I'll do Russian twists, 1 to 2 minute break, and then boom, 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 knock them out. Then the crunches, I try to slam them all at the end. But that it definitely takes me more than 15 minutes. But I'll knock it out either right before my shower, right before I eat. I'll do right after my shower. I try not to do it right before bed. That's usually, what I try to avoid. I'll do it right after work. But it takes only, I want to say 20 minutes. And the way I see it, it's 20 minutes of that, or 20 minutes that I would spend somewhere else, which would, probably doom scrolling, as they call it, on my phone, wasting time, or that's like one episode of something, which, you know what? That's another trick, I'm not going to lie, I use sometimes. There's a couple shows that I watch. The episodes are like Mad Men right now. I finished Baki, the grappler, the anime, which, man, I turned that on. That was motivating. I see these huge dudes, it's animated there, super ripped, training, doing all this stuff, fighting each other. I couldn't watch that and not do exercises or sit-ups, right? So having that on, that's actually a really powerful tool. If you want to start doing if you're not working out and you want to start somewhere working out in your room or just doing push-ups or whatever, put on Baki the Grappler on Netflix or whatnot. That'll definitely get you in the gear. What was I saying? Oh yeah, what I do every day. So there's something for health. something for happiness. So I always try to do something every day that brings me happiness. So whether it's talking to someone that I enjoy, having spending time with someone that I enjoy. Smoking was one thing that I used to do, but meditation is something that I will start doing this weekend. I'm looking at. Video games used to be one a little bit, but I'm really trying to cut down on that. There's listening to music, so I'll put on a record that I like or just listen through an album that I really, really enjoy and just spend that time, just jamming out, like really singing, like having a time with it, right? Doing something at least once every day that makes you happy. I think that's very much underrated. And I'm not saying something that's entertaining, because there's a difference between being entertained and being happy. Because you can be entertained, just sit down and binge Friends all day, but it doesn't make you happy. You're just you're just engaged. I mean, barely engaged. You're just entertained. It doesn't make you happy, man. Like, I would much rather go for a little scooter ride, go for a walk, hang out with a friend I enjoy spending time with for 2 hours. That is a lot more naturally, not stimulating, but in engaging. And after you're done doing that, you'll feel like you actually got something out of it, as opposed to when you turn off the TV because you gotta work in 6 hours. You can't help it, but you feel like you wasted your time, right? If anything, it decreased your happiness. You just feel more like, I need a word for it, in that gray area. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about, because we've all done it with, I'm saying TV, but it could just be on your phone all day during your day off. You look at the time and it's like 6 p.m. and you're like, oh man, what the hell did I do all day? That's what I'm talking about. So just doing one little thing to break out of that cycle, to break out of being miserable, I guess another word for that gray area, will definitely help you out for sure. So stuff that I do every day. So we talked about health, talk about happiness. One other thing that I'm making an effort to do recently is not just do one thing a day to make you happy, but do something to make someone else happy every day. So this has been a thing. It's a thing that people say, right? At least once a day, like do someone a favor or do something to make them happy. So whether that's help out a friend that's in need, one thing I try to do, and I've been pretty good with recently, I've been better with recently, is call my mom. She doesn't live super far away, but I know that my folks do appreciate hearing from me. I try. Yeah, right now I'm trying to call her at least twice a week. I know I could be a lot better, and it's one of those things you got to catch yourself, right? I'm telling myself, oh, at least it's more than once a week, but for the amount, I know how much I mean to her and how much they both mean to me. So it's definitely something that I could implement more in the day to day. But just texting someone, hey, I'm thinking of you, or if they're going through something tough, or they need that extra boost. So it's very much underrated how much just a little text or a little favor can mean to someone, really. I don't know if you've ever had a bad day and then you get a text from someone and they might not have even meant it in that way to help you out. Or, no, let me rephrase that. They might not have known that you needed that, but just seeing that text, just seeing their name pop up, or just the fact of knowing that they spent time out of their day thinking of you, to take that time to appreciate you, can mean the world to you, right? So think how they feel. Put yourself in their shoes, right? Especially if you know they're going through a hard time, they're having a rough day, it's a bad shift. It's it doesn't even have to be someone that you have a love connection with necessarily, right? Like a friend or a lover or a family. It can be like, I know my clients, when they're having a tough week, I text them like, hey man, like we've been going strong this week, like let's not mess up the streak, or pump them up, right? So little stuff like that. Make one person a day at least feel valued, appreciated, and do one thing to make them feel happy. One other thing that I've been very good with recently, trying to do every day, is learning. So I know I've been rambling on about books for the start of this episode and the last one, but also I'm trying to learn a new language. I've been trying to pick up Spanish. Something that I tried when I was a kid, but gave up. Because when you're a kid, you do something for 1 week, it's the coolest thing ever. And then as soon as you lose a bit of interest. So now I've been pretty hard for the last, is this the third week, I want to say, on shout out Duolingo. I'm on unit 5 right now. I'm getting around to it, and it's not too hard, because I do have a French family, right? So they say learning Spanish is a little easier when you know French. So it's going all right. But what I was getting at is, every day I try to learn something new. And I used to use the excuse, it's always something that I've been trying to do for the last couple years, but sometimes I used to use the excuse, Oh yeah, I watched a YouTube video on like some useless stuff that I would never use. On like a random war in the 1800s. Oh, I learned something new. Which if you're into it and you can benefit from it, sure. You know, there's no I'm not saying that's wrong at all. I actually really do enjoy history, like documentaries and old movies based on that, like wartime movies. I'm a big fan of. But I want to learn something every day that I can use in my everyday life. It's kind of a loose category, but there's a lot of stuff in this time in my life that I want to learn. So, new language, about business. I run a couple businesses all on my own. So, marketing, product development, if you will, social media marketing, graphic design, writing. There's always something that I want to learn, that I need to learn. So I feel like if I set that little goal of chipping away at it a bit every day, so I try to do at least one Spanish lesson a day. This is for my current scenario. So a bit towards a language and a bit towards a fitness learning as well. That's something that I don't do every day, but I do make an effort to talk with people in the gym if I see them doing something different online too. I'm not afraid in the DMs or whatever. If I see someone posting a weird way to do a lat pull down, like why are you just asking them, hey, is there a reason you're doing this? Does it bias something else or whatnot? But just learning. Don't be afraid to learn at all. And another thing, while we're on the topic of learning, is putting the pride aside. Being humble is the most important thing you can do for learning. If the ego kills growth, that's another thing, and another topic that we can do for another show. I'm gonna write that down actually. That's a good one. So just an example, if you want to learn something new, but you have all these preconceived notions that you know what you're doing, it's gonna get in the way, right? You have to step into something that you want to learn, almost go in with a clean slate. Like I didn't know how to. Obviously, if I say jab and cross, most people know what that is, but how to properly hit it, and even like when I was doing, we were hitting the pads after, we were learning a few combos, and I was excited. I would wait for him to almost come by and correct me, like going for the liver shot, like you're kind of going blindly, diving in, like you really got to point your shoulder and look up and all that. And it's just with this new little switch, it's one of those things, like I said, that if I thought I knew everything and like, yeah, okay, what is, no, this is how it feels good. This is how I like to throw it, but it's not the right way. There's a beauty in the humbleness and putting the pride aside and learning from someone that cares to share. Because there's a difference between someone that's teaching because he thinks he's better and someone that's learning for the joy of learning and the joy, the pleasure of teaching others how to do it. And I feel like it's one of those things that really shines through, is very important. Our intentions as human beings, as much as we pretend that they aren't, they are very clear and very, very easy to read. And I feel like the older I get, the more I realize that. Well, yeah, just to kind of close off today, daily stuff. So yeah, we talked about the health, happiness, getting others happy. We talked about learning. Another thing that I do, and this is just for me, just because it's kind of the mode I'm in right now, the whole like getting up on my feet, kind of moving away from the part-time. One thing that I try to do every day is to make money every day. So whether it's if I'm not on my part-time job, um, I focus on my clients. I focus on engagement on social media, something towards business. So and it doesn't mean I'm getting a check. I'm getting a payment clear that day, but working towards it a little bit. And I'm not saying that it should be your sole focus every day. It is okay to take days off. Don't get me wrong. It's something that I struggle with a little bit. Is definitely key and important in that factor of business. But it's don't fully let off the gas. It's one of those things, and I am a little hesitant to talk about it because I'm still very much a virgin on this topic. Like I've only owned my business for the first year, and I haven't made millions or whatnot, anything near there now. But from my current experience of a year in, that's how I feel about it. Like I just want to put that out there with the whole business talk. Like I don't want people to take this advice as, oh, what does he know? Nothing, dude. I'm just telling you my experience. That's the whole show. Yeah, that's about it. Stuff that I do every day. Another thing I guess I could touch about is supplements. And I've always been on the fence about it because I'm a big believer in natural. I don't even know how to say this. If I don't need to, I'd rather not I'd rather wait it out a bit than like take a bunch of shit. But supplements that I do take every day, and I've been taking for the last 2 weeks. So I'll pull them up actually. So there's 4 things that I take every day. 5 if you count protein powder, but that's people that it is a supplement. Don't get me wrong, but I see it more as like a meal, right? I put it with like milk or in a big shake or whatever. Like I was talking about yesterday, it's less a supplement, more like a candy, not a candy bar, but it's something you consume for macros. I don't take it because it has like zinc or whatever in it. But yeah, one of them that I've been taking recently is vitamin D3. I started taking it during the winter because we do get a lack. Obviously, we're not in the sun all day. Obviously, during summer, one thing I want to do is try to up my exposure to the sun, get that natural vitamin D3. So for energy, it's just good for the system as well. Magnesium as well. That is something that I would love to touch on another day as well, but trying to get at least over 6 hours of rest a day. But I can feel it, if I'm slacking on a bit of sleep because I got to work early and then I kill myself at the gym. It's not something I want to open up about a lot, but I do know people go through it more. But all that to say, it's just something that I do want to manage, keep under wraps, as would anyone else. Yeah, I think we're gonna close it here for this episode, this show. Thanks to anyone or the few that are watching. Shout out the Bailey that commented yesterday. Any type of feedback was very much appreciated. Like I said, we're just getting started with this. I'm still not sure where I want to go with this exactly. What kind of format, if I want to do longer episodes. Right now I'm aiming for like 25 to 35 minutes. Because I know myself, I'm not going to watch some random guy ramble for an hour with no credibility or whatever. So I'm being realistic with it. But we'll call it here. But yeah, thanks to anyone who watched, and stay tuned for the rest. I'm not sure what type of schedule as well I'm going to be on, but I'm liking this kind of come on with a couple topics. Like I just wrote a couple of notes down and keep it natural. But like I said, I do want to, once I get comfortable with my format and know where I want to go a little more, have a bit more of a clear idea, I think that's when I'm going to look into having people on and figure out that format. But for now, thanks again, and enjoy your day.